What's up, everyone? John Guana here for another episode of the In the North podcast. I am riding solo at the moment as our good friend Brianna Goodchild, my co-host as well, is on a little show that you may have heard before called Survivor. If you're not tuned into this, I expect that you'll probably be on Survivor looking at that now. Tonight, guests include Mitch McCarron from the Adelaide 36ers. We also have the Townsville Fire guard, the legend herself, Micaela Cocks, joining us shortly. I'm running things on my own here. I'm not the technical wizard, so you guys have to just deal with me as I get these guys into the chat. Just bear with me 1 second, but really keen to hear us to talk to Micaela and Mitch about tonight. If you have any questions, drop them in to the chat and we'll get to them as soon as we possibly can. Looks like we've got Mitch with us. Let me see if I could get you in here, Mitch. And we've got Micaela. Guys, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight.
How's it going, guys?
We've got a few things for you, but first things first, guys. I'm not 100% sure if you guys have heard of a show called Survivor. Brianna Goodchild, my co-host, is actually on there at the moment. So my first question for each of you, and I'm going to start with you first, Micaela. If you were going to go on Survivor, who would you take with you? Because this season's episode is blood and water. It could be any partner you want. It could be a teammate. So maybe we'll stick with the basketball team. If you could pick one of your teammates, past, present, who would you take with you on Survivor? And why?
Chevy. Palvast.
Why? Why Chevy?
Just know her really well, get on with her, and yeah, I think we could do some damage.
All right. Are you a fan at all? Have you ever watched Survivor?
Not really.
No. All right.
I'll probably watch more. Now that I know a couple of people on it, so.
Oh, who else do you know on there?
Oh, well, I don't know of them, but know of them. Just the Maddie Garrett's girlfriend, and then Brianna.
Well, I've got to tell you, I'm not a big reality fan myself, but I tuned in last night and I'm hooked. I'm addicted to it. Mitch, I'm going to go over to you. I'm not sure if you watched Survivor, but past, present, or future teammate, who would you take with you on the show and why?
David Barlow would love to go on Survivor. He's a mad strategist. He's a massive fan of the show. He's talk about it every week, so I'd have to take him with me.
Do you think he would be good on the show, or are you just taking him because he's keen?
Yeah, I think he'd form a pretty strong alliance early on. You'd want to back him in, but once we get to the athletic challenges, I think he's going to be a pretty big threat too. So, yeah, maybe I have to stab him in the back real quick to get the money.
All right. Well, it is on at the moment. Brianna has some Survivor duties, so we won't get her tonight. But I always love to ask that question because it's real. I think it gives you a bit of an insight into you guys personally, but a little bit of insight onto the team. Do either of you watch any reality TV, or is there a particular show that you're a fan of?
I watched the Ball Brothers reality TV show on Facebook.
That counts. That's reality. That's as real as it gets, isn't it?
Yeah.
How about you, Macca?
I just watch sport. That's pretty much it. Sport is the only thing on my TV. Sometimes a bit of Survivor. That's about it.
All right, so we have a fan, which is good. I definitely would not be a good Survivor host. I know I couldn't go on Survivor. I'd be the worst teammate. So please, if anyone ever needs a teammate, don't invite me. I would let you down. I promise you that. But let's get down to business, guys. Basketball is upon us. How are you guys finding the season so far? I know, when we last spoke to you guys, COVID was happening. I mean, the seasons last year got delayed as well, and then there's been some interruptions. Micaela, how's the season been for you so far up in Townsville with all the stops and starts and the delays?
I think just we're used to dealing with adversity, being athletes, so kind of just take it day by day and deal with it. And yeah, we just got to win some games.
And how about you, Mitch? I know obviously COVID's affected everybody, but has your experience been like?
Yeah, it's been a weird one for the WNBL and the NBL alike, and all the sports across Australia. It's just in and out of lockdown, it seems. I know us in Adelaide have had a difficult time just dealing with, different state rules compared to even a New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, or whatever it is. And then obviously anytime you travel across Australia, you're susceptible to different states' rules than where you're from as well. So it's a bit of a tricky one, but I'm just grateful that hopefully we'll be able to finish off the season. And yeah, we've got athletes competing because, it sucks sitting out.
You mentioned Adelaide, Mitch, your first season down there. What's it been like for you so far? It's obviously a new city, new coach, new team. What's it been like so far in the start of the year?
Yeah, it's been a challenge for us. I think obviously we've got a lot of new guys to the league and a lot of new guys to the club, and we're trying to build up that keyword culture that everyone likes to use. But it's a process and it takes time, and you're getting lots of different guys getting used to playing with each other and coming from different leagues or different systems. So it's a challenge for all of us. But we got a lot of great guys on the team. We enjoy each other's company, and I think we're starting to build and see that. We got a great win on the weekend against a really talented United team. So yeah, for us, it's just about building every game and trying to get some W's mixed together.
And Micaela, massive achievement for you recently. You're now the most capped player in Townsville Fire history, 229 games. I want to ask you about that achievement, but I imagine you would have preferred to get the win in the game rather than the recognition.
Yeah, I think Townsville kind of has a curve.
I'm not sure if I'm frozen or if it's you, Micaela. We got you mid-sentence. We'll see if we could maybe reconnect because I got you frozen. Mitch, can you imagine that, though? 229 games. It feels like it hasn't been that long for you in your professional career, but gee, you're considered a vet these days.
No, well done to Micaela. That's awesome. I think that's anytime you can get to that number, it's awesome. Nothing's guaranteed. It's all about trying to stay fit and healthy as possible, but you need some luck along the way. And I'm sure, as she's had an incredible career, there's lots of great memories to look back on.
I wanted to ask you specifically about playing for CJ Bruton. I know being a Brisbane guy, you would know CJ. I know you have a bit of a history with CJ, but what's it like actually playing for him as the head coach?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think obviously as a first-year coach and kind of what I was alluding to before, he's got a bunch of new guys to deal with as well. It's not like he's inherited a group that's been here for 5 years and has a strong core that everyone knows each other and you can bring him in. He's bringing in a new system as well, and from his experiences with Andre or from various other programs and himself as a player. But I think the one thing about CJ is, he gets it from a player's mindset. He's been there, done that in terms of, what an Australian hooper, wants to do with their careers and, playing on the world stage and massive tournaments and playing in the NBL forever, and winning championships with multiple teams. And he understands that, there's ups and downs and it's all about growth throughout the season and trying to get better.
Just trying to get Micaela back to join us. So please stick with us. We'll see if we can get Micaela back in. But we do have Adelaide 36ers guard Mitch McCarron with us. Mitch, you guys are sitting in the 8th spot, 4-6. Obviously, you'd love some more wins, but you picked up that big win against United. Do you feel like that's the start of something?
Yeah, I think we're confident about our ability to, when we defend, it ignites our offense. I know that's the same for a lot of different teams around the league. So for us, it was just about the consistency. We felt like we've dropped some games that we probably should have won, and I'm sure a lot of teams look back and it's easy to be capped in hindsight and say, oh, if we did that better, we would have won. But we felt disappointed in the way we finished games sometimes.
Looks like we got you back, Micaela. Thank you. Hopefully everything is okay in Townsville. How are you guys doing up there with all the flooding going on?
Yeah, we're all right. I think some places got a bit flooded, but it's all back to normal now and hot, really hot.
Well, I'm feeling your pain here in Brisbane because it's very hot. I don't know if it's Townsville hot, but for me in Brisbane, it's certainly hot. But let's go back to where we lost you before, the 229 games, but you didn't pick up the win. What does the achievement mean to you? I know obviously you prefer the win.
Yeah, I'm really proud. More so just to be a one club player. And massive achievement, and it's really cool to, take it off one of, my really good friends, Rachel, and to be up there with, players like Mia and Susie.
So where do you see the season so far for the team, though, Micaela? I know you guys started off hot, but at the moment it's a bit uneven. What's going on with the Fire, and where do you think you guys need to improve to kind of right the ship?
We just need to fix our offense up a little bit. I don't think we're far off. I think we're playing good defense. We're keeping to teams to a good score, but we just need to score more points, and just a couple of, we need to push the ball a bit more and flow a little bit, but I think that will come.
So we have not a standard question, but a question I'm going to point to both of you, and I'll start with you, Micaela, because we do have a lot of young basketballers who will tune into this live. Do you have any advice for young basketball players just starting out their career, for kids who would like to, progress through and eventually get to where you guys are playing professionally? We'll start with you, Micaela.
It's never too you're never too young to start trying to be as professional as you can and doing all the right things, because if you're not doing them, somebody else is. So just, being in shape, eating the right foods, and then just working on your game. Especially when you're young, you don't have too many other responsibilities. Just get in the gym and, find a good coach and keep working.
Mitch, how about you?
Yeah, I think there was a transition mentally for me when I was about 15, 16, and I started to, understand that trying to win all the time was good for me. Be on a winning team and help your team win, however that be. It might not be scoring points, but defending, rebounding, whatever it is, just finding a way at practice that whenever you're scrimmaging and competing, you're going to try and win that. And that only leads to good things. So I found that the kids that really locked into that, and it's the same now, in most of the clubs that I've played at, the most competitive groups at practice and the better practices you get, it leads on to playing better in games.
Now, Micaela, you mentioned finding a good coach. I know you've done a little bit of coaching yourself. So is that a bit of an advertisement for you to try and get some more players in to under there, or just the friendly advice?
Oh, setting up my retirement.
So
Job after basketball.
Are you doing coaching at the moment, Micaela?
Not currently, just because it's just too busy with Hazel and then being in season. But once I stop playing or not playing year round, then I'd like to get into a lot of development coaching. I don't want to be a coach of an actual team though.
So more individual skill based?
Yeah.
All right. And Mitch, it kind of tails into a question that I had written down for you. Tell me about Pinnacle Basketball Academy and what's your involvement with it. What is it?
Yeah, Micaela, we might need to chat. Essentially, it's just an academy on the north side of Brisbane. Started last year. Obviously, Brisbane, the growth that it's had in the game over the last 5 to 10 years. I mean, you would know that, John. It's just taken off. And I remember when I was growing up as a kid, and it was obviously you were just smashed with team basketball, and you were playing for 8 different teams throughout a week, trying to fit in whatever it was development wise. And it's important for kids to work on their game and work on skills. As you get older and you get to college level, it's about working on your game as well as doing the team stuff. So it's just nice to have an option out there for the kids, and we're already seeing great benefits from kids just confidence-wise, just putting in the work and seeing them get better.
Are you actively involved, Mitch, and are you on the court doing drills?
I am, yeah. When I get back during the off season, so I'll come back to Brisbane every year and coach the kids and get as involved as I can, and then go away for the NBL season and kind of run it from afar using some coaches back in Brisbane. But I'm super excited to get back and see all the kids that I got to see last year and see how far they've come.
I'm sure everyone can't wait to see you back in Brisbane. Now, we did have a question in the group, and I'm going to throw it to you first, Micaela. I'm going to put the caveat around you, though. This is one of your teammates. I'm not going to say who it is, but they'd like to know who your favorite teammate is. Let's see if you get it right.
I have to get it right?
Favorite. You don't have to, but I'm just saying you have a few guesses here, maybe.
Okay, my favorite teammate is... Oh, this is really being put on the spot.
We're not talking past, we're talking current, okay?
Current, okay. Who's in my team? Oh gosh. Okay. Let's say my favorite teammate is Mia because she also has a child and I can drop Hazel off and she looks after her.
All right. Well, I think you got it right. I'm not sure if the person who asked the question will think you got it right. But we'll leave it at that. We'll let that discussion happen offline. Okay. How about you, Mitch? Do you have a favorite teammate, maybe current or in the past, maybe?
Yeah, it's definitely Kai Soto, and my followers just went up by 1,000.
Well, I'm pretty sure I saw Kai in there, so I think you might have snuck that one in because Kai obviously is new to the league. What is it about him that makes him your favorite?
Nah, it's just good to have him out here. It's obviously like, he's got a great energy to him. We just see him getting better and better each game, and he's starting to get more time now. Obviously, opportunities arise, and it's great to see him doing well and have an impact on the game.
What about? I'll put another question out to both of you, and I guess the question is: do you have a particular coach when you look back at all the coaches you played for, whether it's from youth to today, playing professionally? Do you have one coach that you really remember strongly that really had an influence you in your basketball career, whether it was younger or currently? Micaela, I'll start with you.
Yeah, back in New Zealand, I had an individual coach. His name was Theo Tate. And that was before, like, I really got into basketball, but, like, just the development and, like, all the individual work, I always remember the time he put in.
Do you remember anything specifically that you still utilize today?
Oh, well, we just did the same. So it was, like, this high-performance program, and it was a program we had to do it religiously 3 times a week. And it was, like, lots of mic and drills, lots of running, and lots of ball handling. So it was exactly the same 3 times a week. It never changed. So it seemed boring, but it was just like all about fundamentals.
Yeah, and the fundamentals really are the base for everything for the growth, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when you're starting, and yeah, definitely.
And Mitch, how about you? I know you've played for a few legends just in the NBL alone, not even talking about your career before then, but any coach that really sticks with you throughout your playing days?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many for so many different reasons. It's hard to just pick one. Coming through college, Coach Clark or Derek Clark was incredible for me. Like he was tough and relentless, but he made me into a pro and made me realize that it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday mentality, and I'm forever grateful for that. Aaron Fern, for my time in Cairns, spent a lot of time with me about just the mental side of the game and thinking ahead and being more like a professional guard. And obviously my 3 years with Dean was super fun there, trying to strategize about how we're going to win games, or we've got an injured guy, and just those conversations about what's next for us and how do we go win that game now in this matchup. Dean just loves talking the game, and I learn a lot from him.
Wow, I mean, that's a pretty good list of coaches on the resume there, Mitch. So pretty impressive. And you're playing for CJ Bruton, the legend now as well. One thing that I wanted to ask you, and Micaela, you mentioned it. You mentioned Hazel. Mitch, you now have Oslo as well. What has changed for you guys now that you're playing, and you were playing professionally before children, but what's changed for you both now that you're parents? Mitch, I'll start with you.
Yeah, it's a bit cliche, but it's kind of like it just puts life into perspective. I think every athlete parent would probably tell you that. You just that moment after birth where it's just like nothing else matters. You're at complete peace just seeing a healthy child. And so, yeah, you come back to basketball and it's just like, yep, like I love basketball, and you have your ups and downs, and you're grumpy after a bad day and you're high after a great game or whatever. But you come back home, you see your kid, and it kind of doesn't matter anymore how you played or whatever. It's that, they just want to see you. I'm really looking forward to that because that's what everyone tells me. It's just the best thing. Yeah,
that's awesome. And how about for you, Micaela?
Yeah, I love it. It's a lot busier, but I just like, especially game day. Game days I used before having Hazel, it was kind of like a really slow day, and you'd have too much time to think about the game. But now it's just another day. Hazel doesn't know any different, and I really like that because you're just busy sorting out your children or child, and then go play the game. So I've found that a good adjustment.
I want to know, and I have to ask the question: How does the lack of sleep affect you guys on the court, or does it not matter?
You get used to it, I reckon. I don't know about you, Mitch, but
I can't complain. I'll get attacked if I complain. So yeah, I'm good on the sleep.
So are you just grinning and pushing through it, guys? Is that what you're saying? Is that what we're saying?
yeah,
It's worth it. Yeah.
push through it.
Well, my kids are a lot older, and I was never and have never played professional basketball, so I don't know. I just know that sitting in front of the computer is exhausting after not sleeping much at the night before. So I can't imagine what it's like to go through not warm-ups and then game and training afterwards. So I really admire you both for doing what you do, not just at the professional level, but adding that extra layer of parenthood is just really impressive. So I don't know how you do it, but I admire you both for doing it. Micaela, you guys have Sydney. What do you guys need to do in that matchup? It's going to be a tough one on Sunday.
Yeah, I think well, defensively, they're a good shooting team, so we just have to apply the pressure and contest every shot. I think if they're open, they're gonna make those threes like they did against Bendigo, and we just can't let that happen. And then make sure we get back on our offensive track.
And you guys are sitting outside the floor at the moment. Is that still, obviously you still have the goals of getting to finals and then anything can happen?
Yeah, I think we're sitting fifth at the moment, so we definitely need to be top four. And I think, we're a championship winning team. We just haven't quite clicked yet, but I don't think that's far off.
And I do want to ask you, I know that you made the announcement, so the season now is going to be condensed a little bit more. Does that change the preparation or the approach for you as a group?
No, but we just, we have to kind of get our act together sooner than later. We're almost approaching that middle of the season, and even though it kind of just feels like we just started. So, yeah, it's definitely puts a bit more pressure on us, but I think, we need that.
Pressure makes diamonds, isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
And you guys have the Bullets this week. What are you looking for in that matchup against Brisbane?
Yeah, they're a tough unit, especially when they're rolling. They've been fun to watch, and they've got a lot of offensive talent. So for us, it's probably about stopping their momentum as early as possible. Because once they've got some guys who, once they get going early, it's going to be a rough ride for the game. And especially, you expect guys like Robert Franks to bounce back after his last game, and they'll probably be disappointed after a couple losses after they had some momentum earlier in the year. So expecting them to really come at us, and yeah, we're going to be ready.
And how good has your mate Cameron Bairstow been? I mean, he was a late addition to the group, but he's really made a big impact. Was that something that you were expecting from Cameron?
Yeah, I think we know how talented he is and was. Unfortunately, he just couldn't stay on the floor. He was just injured a lot, and you could see the impact that had even on Illawarra last year when he went out, how it changed them and their ability to, have a big that can shoot and punish you from the three as well as get some points in the paint. So he's come back with a vengeance this year. He, took his time coming into camp and with us, obviously, as a late pickup. And he's shown how talented and valuable he is for us, just getting on the boards and cleaning up all of our misses as well.
Yeah, he's been awesome, and really good to see him on the court, and not just on the court, but performing at levels that he is now. Guys, this is the Basketball Queensland in the North podcast. We saw both of you playing NBL 1 North last season. I'm going to give you the opportunity to let us know if there's any plans to see you guys again in NBL 1 North after NBL and WNBL season. Anything you want to tell anyone tuning in, guys, or anything you could maybe share with us? We do have a bit of a record of people breaking news, so I'm giving you the floor and the opportunity to.
You go, Mitch.
What, you got nothing or what? Come on, I was going to let you go first.
Can you tell us anything, or what? I know it's a little further out, but is there a possibility we might see you back in NBL 1 North?
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back with Northside Wizards again. So super excited for that. Yeah, obviously rosters have changed a lot from last year around the league, and I think it looks super stacked. I think it's going to be a super fun league. Lots of different teams from different places with loaded rosters, and hopefully get a bunch of NBL guys coming back and helping those teams get even stronger. But you can just see the local talent, and this is what NBL 1's all about, right, is finding that local talent that's around it and putting it on show, and you can just see everyone getting excited for that. So I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, well, that's awesome because I don't think we had that announcement. So thank you for helping us keep our streak alive, Mitch. Micaela, do you wanna maybe tack on to that? Can you share any news with us?
I don't have any news, but I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with the New Zealand bubble of borders, and then just to go see some family. So I'm unsure at the moment. But if I'm in Townsville and there's a spot on the roster, then I'm happy to play for Townsville, but I might not be in Townsville.
All right. So the preferred plan is to go see family in New Zealand. I got to respect that because I think I'm in the same boat as you. As soon as I know I could get on a fairly reasonable price flight, I think I'm going back to the States myself. So
yeah,
it's been too long, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been pretty long.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get to see you, Micaela. I know we'll get to see you throughout the rest of the WNBL season. And Mitch, obviously looking forward to seeing you back here in NBL 1 North for the Northside Wizards. But we're just as excited to watch you throughout the NBL season. Guys, thank you so much. I know it's 8:30, so I really appreciate you guys joining us tonight and sharing and being so open and honest with me and with everyone who tuned in.
Thanks for having me on, John.
Really, really appreciate it, Mitch, and appreciate it, Micaela. Guys, you guys can leave here. I don't really have too much else to wrap up with, so I might just call it a night myself. I'm going to go actually watch a bit of Survivor, and hopefully Brianna hasn't been eliminated just yet on night 2. So thank you guys both again for joining us tonight. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of the In the North podcast. Guys, good luck in your matchups this week. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you again next Tuesday night. Thanks guys.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye. See ya.